Okay, as a means of flagrant disrespect for what Garron is saying, I decided that I'm going to chow down on some fizzy cola bottles as I watch his apology.
Hello, how are you getting on? I'm back. This is the last time I'm going to discuss this particular topic. I really want to get back to do what I like to do, which is just having the crack. But I needed to take a few days away.
I'm having the crack, Garron. A lot of us are having the crack.
There was a lot of stuff happening online, as I'm sure many of you know. And I just couldn't stop myself, looking at it and engaging with it, and it wasn't productive for me.
Oh, it wasn't productive for you, Garron. But what you said was productive for the political landscape of Ireland and the way that the youth discuss things like immigration and cancel culture and the left.
And I think anything I said in response to it would have been, purely based on emotion and just not productive. So
Do it, Garron. Give us an emotional response. Do it, Garron. Take the baby gloves off. Go in. Go off, King. We want you to do this. The people on the left want you to do this. People on the right want you to do this. We want to hear how you feel about this fucking shit, right? We want to hear how fucking angry those comments made you. We want to know that our bullying worked. And I feel like this is kind of a sign that the bullying is working.
Decided that the best thing to do was to just remove myself from it for a little while and clear my head.
The best thing to do was to run away from the consequences of my own actions.
Before I get into this in any way, I'm just going to let you know there's going to be probably a lot of pausing in this video. I want to make sure I'm very specific in what I say, because goodness knows I have learned that it can go very wrong if you're not extremely specific about what you say. The first thing I want to...
That's the thing, you were quite specific about what you said. And that was the issue.
Say is just a massive thank you to everybody for their support, for all the people who made such an effort to reach out to me. I mean, people were offering...
To all the people that cradled the sack and worked the shaft, you know what I mean, and gave it a nice bit of saliva. To all those people, I want to say thank you.
Me to stay in their B&Bs and their homes and their hotels if I needed to clear my head. The generosity...
Garron, you can stay in my gaff. If your head is wrecked, you can come stay in my gaff. It's all love. This is all jokes. This is all satire.
That I experience from people is just incredible. Like, what I've always known to be true is people have just such beautiful, caring souls, and I've seen so much of that this week.
People have such beautiful, caring souls unless they're politically on the left or immigrants.
Not only from Irish people, but from people who had immigrated to the country. It was just absolutely just incredible.
All right, okay, fair. He noticed Fabu D said something. Good for you.
And I really, 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 truly appreciate every single person who did not have to reach out to me, who did not have to try and be supportive. You're absolutely incredible people. Thank you so much. The second group of people I want to thank is anybody who disagreed with me in good faith.
Oh, here we go. He's thanking me now. Anybody? Hold on. We need 2 more cola bottles. This is riveting. This is one of the better apology videos I've watched.
Was trying to put information out there who felt that what I said was wrong to say, outlined why they felt that it was wrong to say, and tried to further information that people have.
You're welcome, Garron.
The last thing I want to do is paint people out who disagreed with what I said, or even people who disagreed that I should have said it. The last thing I want to do is paint those people in a negative light. That's exactly what I was trying to say in the video.
I feel like thanking people who defended you is a little bit of a signal that is kind of painting your detractors in a negative light, and also specifying that this is a separate group of people who engaged in good faith and with good information. You're signaling out the fact that you think at least some percentage of the comments saying that you're a racist were just out of pocket, they were out of line, they were insulting, they were untrue. You know what I mean? You are again signaling, dog whistling. But he's not even smart enough to do it in a way with plausible deniability. You know what I mean? I'm surprised that this fucking apology didn't get more criticism.
Because, we should be able to have conversations about these things, and I think that's tremendously valuable. So, fair play.
Yeah. We should be able to have conversations about these things. And if you are going to make a statement, you should be prepared to have that conversation. instead of dipping like a baby and leaving other people to have the conversation for you.
I think that's tremendously valuable. So fair play to you as well. I was sent some videos that were critical of what I said. I thought they put good information out.
I wonder if you sent mine videos. Made a fair amount. I hope so.
There. So yeah, I do want to take some accountability here. While I
Wait, hold on. He's going to take some accountability here. And he's about to talk about... hold on.
that most people seemingly to me did understand what I was trying to get across
This is right.
in the video.
Sorry, some people let it ride. This is I think again a very important telling mask off moment.
I do think some of my points were too vague. I think they were too open to interpretation, and it's clear to me from the people that did it, enough people did misinterpret it, that it's clear to me that I definitely could have communicated it better, and that is 100% on me. And I absolutely should be held accountable for that. I have a very large platform, and the things I say get out to a lot of people. And if
okay, so now he's saying that it was an error in his communication and that it was misinterpreted, right? And that enough people understood what I was trying to say, but some picked up on it the wrong way. What you did was you fucked up. You said some far right talking points, and you weren't even aware of the fact that that's what you were doing. And the people defending you aren't even aware of the fact that that's what you were doing, right? It doesn't absolve you of responsibility. It just means that it's not this. What you're saying now is like absolute horseshit. You're being like, some people understood it. No, that's some people who agreed with it who are wrong. And people who misinterpreted it are people who understood what you were saying, heard the actual, like, where these were coming from, have heard these talking points many times from very unintelligent, mouth-breathing, subhuman people. So we recognize that this is the language of someone who is on the far right, who is a bigoted person. And you were saying that we are misinterpreting that you had multiple, you had at least 3, like, hitting the bell, I am a right-wing, bigoted, racist person in your video, right? It's not us misinterpreting it. You can be subconsciously a fucking one of these losers, you know what I mean? You could be seeing this shit on your Facebook feed and just thinking that it's absolutely true. And it's not, I don't know if it's your fault or if it's Zuckerberg's fault, but it's definitely your fault once you start saying it online, and once you start accusing people of criticizing you of misinterpreting what you said because you were too vague. It was a 3-minute video, Garron. It was quite detailed. You had 1.5 minutes of your opinion. It wasn't that vague. There wasn't a lot up for interpretation there. There wasn't a lot to read between the lines. It was rather fucking explicit.
they're poorly communicated, people absolutely should criticize me now, then, and they should criticize me in the future for that. I think that's absolutely tremendously important. Now, I'm sure a lot of you seen the Twitter threads, the personal attacks, people calling me a racist, misinterpreting what I was saying, trying to make me out to be a fascist, and all the worst things that you can say about a person, saying that I was anti-immigrant, things that are just absolutely not true at all.
It's not a personal attack. It's just true. You came on, you said some racist shit. People said, that is some racist ass shit to say, Garron. And you're like, this is a personal attack, actually.
All the worst things that you can say about a person, saying that I was anti-immigrant, things that are just absolutely not true at all.
I mean, you're obviously going to say that it's not true. That's obviously what you're going to say when you realize that you get in trouble for saying anti-immigrant shit. Once you've gotten the backlash, you're not that stupid. You have learned that now your official stance has to be that I'm not anti-immigrant. So people kept referencing his PR team. I don't know if that's a true thing that he actually has, but like this is starting to feel like he's getting away from them. The first 3 minutes that we've watched, it felt more, this is what a lawyer wrote for me, and now it's starting to spiral.
There was some attempts even to edit my Wikipedia page to say that I was aligning myself with the far right and that I was anti-immigrant.
Oh no, people editing Wikipedia. What an absolute travesty. You were aligning yourself with the far right. They were trying to inject some factuality into your Wikipedia. There should definitely be a controversy segment on any biography about this guy, and this should be front and center.
And I can assure you that my DMs were full of that stuff as well. Now, the stuff people were saying about my appearance, I think people are just jealous, to be honest with you. And I'm sure some of you seen
Mate, you look like a goblin from a Peter Jackson movie.
some of the far right people who were misappropriating what I was saying and trying to use it to bolster their own agenda.
They weren't misappropriating what you were saying. They were recognizing that what you were saying was the same as what they say to each other. You were bolstering their own agenda, not people misusing. That's why everyone's talking about it as if people are taking this and spinning it into a different context. When no, it's actually discussing and analyzing the content of what he said. He didn't say something completely apolitical. He didn't. It is an inherently political statement, and it was inherently right-leaning. It is conservative. It is regressive. The progressives disagree, and it's being painted as it was taken out of context. It wasn't understood properly. We understood damn well what you said, Garron.
Which was obviously absolutely horrifying to me and the last thing that I would want. Though I do think some of the assertions people were making that I was a far-right poster boy or that they were all behind me,
that's what you are.
I think that was really overblown and kind of a hysterical reaction.
It wasn't hysterical. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck, man? This is ridiculous. He's just this. Okay, we've gotten back into what the solicitors wrote for him. Actually, I've just realised now.
Plenty of far right people who, you know, were like, he's not saying what I really think. He should be saying this, and that.
Was there, because every time I saw a far-right person talking about Garron Noone, it was showing, one, undying support for him and Conor McGregor, who he decided to align himself with, and two, the fact that there is a narrative of cancel culture, leftists censoring this man for trying to voice his opinion. And you contributed to that by throwing your toys out of the pram and throwing a tantrum, storming off.
Should be saying this, and that. They know they don't agree with me on almost everything.
I don't know, man. I don't know if they know. What the fuck are you talking about? The only thing I know about you is that you fucking play the guitar and you eat food.
So, you know, making out that I have some of the worst beliefs that I can possibly think of. It was difficult. So what were people...
It was difficult, man. I said my beliefs and I had to deal with the truth of the matter that I actually do hold bigoted, racist viewpoints. Whether or not I am cognizant of the fact that that takes place in my everyday life, it is a thing that is deep-rooted in me. You know what I mean? That is a thing. It's internalized. The fact that everyone came to his defense, I think, is just completely absolving him of responsibility. It's absolving him of any, it's robbing him of any necessity to better himself. This apology is bullshit. He's just saying you're all fucking wrong. You all picked up on it wrong.
So what were people misrepresenting about what I was saying? First of all, I never said that I was anti-immigration. I honestly don't know where people even got that.
You don't know where people got that. You don't know where people got the idea that you were anti-immigration.
I never aligned myself with Conor McGregor and said that I agreed with everything he said or anything even.
I don't think anyone said that you agreed with everything he said, but you brought him up and validated and vindicated his points and talked about how you thought they reflected the majority of the Irish populace.
He said, or anything even close to that. In fact, I said the opposite.
I said you didn't say the fucking opposite. You said that I don't think he's a very nice person and it's very easy to find evidence of that. And then you went on to take what he had to say seriously. That in and of itself is a failing. You shouldn't take people like Conor McGregor, Elon Musk and Donald Trump seriously. These people are memes. You know what I mean? Discussing anything they have to say as if there is validity is a waste of your own time and degrading to the fucking discourse as a whole.
Immigrants are criminals or that immigrants are making our crime rate shoot to all-time highs. I never said any of this stuff. I never said...
You did say that though, and if I want to be charitable, I could say you heavily implied it with your phrasing rather than... Again, solicitor told them to be like, I never said that.
That, you know, immigrants were coming into the country and causing the crime rate to skyrocket. I never said anything about crime rate.
He's gaslighting us.
And I never said anything about immigrants causing that or anything like that. What I said is that the
Okay, you didn't say the word crime rate, but you said less safe. Our cities and towns are becoming less safe.
The towns and the cities are becoming much less safe. And I believe that to be true. Some people were quoting CSO statistics and saying that crime has gone down.
You believe that
and
to
many
be
types of
true,
crime.
but like that's a point that I made around the time, is that they're becoming less safe due to the fact that we have a lot of far right protesters, anti-immigrant protesters going around causing havoc. We have had historic riots in Dublin city centre that were spurred on by the far right. If anybody is making our towns and cities less safe, it has nothing to do with fucking immigration or foreign people, and it has a lot more to do with the behaviour of white Irish men.
Has gone down, and many types of crime have gone down.
There you go.
Some types of crime have risen slightly. That's not the primary thing that
That's another far right talking point, that he's denying actual statistics and saying that crime rates aren't going down, other ones are going up. That is a misinformation thing. That is like a don't trust. That's like a fucking Illuminati thing. You know what I mean? They're keeping the truth from us type shit.
that I'm thinking about though. There's a lot of antisocial behaviour being unaddressed. There's a lot of problems with drugs.
Antisocial behaviour, again, bringing it up right now in this context of a video about anti-immigration, it's a bad thing to put the two of those together in one fucking sentence and not denounce there being a connection between the two. Not, you know what I mean? Like, he's flirting with going full fucking far right, and he still could at some point in his career when he starts to peter out.
Types of drugs have changed. There's many factors to why people feel things are getting more unsafe. And also, some of these problems were typically only present in Dublin, and we're starting to see them in other places in Ireland. But that is not an implication. Now, you can disagree with that, but it's
that's just just hilarious. I forgot he actually said that. He's blaming Dublin. He's being Dublin racist. I have been so gracious. I know I've called him a muck savage and a culture in this video, but that is very gracious considering how racist I am towards cultures, right? He fucking, oh my god, he's there's always, I think this is a sign that he doesn't leave his house, that he isn't in cities and towns. Have you been in Galway? That has some fucking rough ass areas. That's not in Dublin. Have you been in Waterford? That has some fucking ghettos and hoods. That's not in Dublin. You know what I mean? This fella lives in a gaff within that's like a square acre away from any other human civilization.
It's not misinformation. There's perfectly reasonably a case to be made for that. It's something that a lot of people feel.
Because you're giving it as a definitive statement, as a fact. You're not giving it as an opinion or a thought. So it is completely reasonable to call that misinformation.
There's perfectly reasonably a case to be made for that. It's something that a lot of people feel. And
a lot of people feel a lot of very fucking stupid things. A lot of people feel that there is a God in heaven and Jesus Christ died for our sins in Jerusalem. You know what I mean? It's
I also think we have to talk about these things, you know, because you've got Conor McGregor saying things like Dublin has gone from being one of the safest cities in Europe to being one of the most dangerous.
I didn't even know he said that, and you confirmed it. You just confirmed it. You said Dublin is getting less safe, and now you're talking about how Conor McGregor also said that. You are signalling and dog whistling that you are a McGregor stan, that you are up his hoop.
That is not an accurate statement, and the problem is that when we're not talking about what people are feeling, what people are seeing, what people are concerned about, you allow people to hijack the conversation and drive it up into that hysterical level where you're saying it's one of the most dangerous.
Okay, yeah, people did hijack that conversation, drive it up into a hysterical level that you fell for. You got swept up on it. But you're thinking it's the left that are doing that, but it's actually the side that you're aligned with.
Things and blah, blah, blah. But people do have legitimate concerns about things, and those concerns are fine to have. I also feel like a lot of the time these conversations can become very centred around Dublin, and there are lots of communities outside Dublin that have concerns that are different, and resources and things like that, they're very differently managed outside of Dublin, and those things need to be respected. And I do think that a lot of communities are just not being properly communicated with. Their voices aren't being heard. They're being told that their concerns are irrelevant, and listen, you can think they are, you can think they're not. But what I'm saying, and what I was saying in the video,
their concerns aren't irrelevant, they're unfounded. or they're founded in things that are not true. That's not saying that it's irrelevant. To tell these people that they have valid complaints is like telling a child that Santa Claus is real.
But what I'm saying, and what I was saying in the video, is that denying the reality that people have these concerns is leaving a massive vacuum open for people like Conor McGregor to come in and occupy and spread messages that I know you don't want him to spread.
You spread those fucking messages.
That was the entire point of my video, and I stand by that.
He stands by it. He fucking stands by it. Not apologetic. Doesn't take it back. Fucking stands by it. Lose weight and fucking trim your beard. Do something about that.
However, I do agree though that when I'm saying immigration and talking about safety in the same sentence...
Oh, here we go. We're 8 minutes in. We have 1 minute left. And he is beginning to address valid criticisms of him. Oh my God, it only took 8 minutes. He just had to talk about how everything was misconstrued and misunderstood first.
Very, very specific about what I'm saying. I don't think I was specific enough.
You were very specific. You need... It's less about being specific and more about being well educated and informed.
And I think that a lot of the misinterpretation about that, even though I do think most people understood what I was saying, I do think the misinterpretation is on me. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here all day and go through every point I made in the video and just go on and on about it. People can disagree with me.
Because that would prove that I actually said some misinformation.
I encourage that. They should. When you disagree with me, you should post about it. I didn't appreciate the way that I
encourage that. I encourage people to disagree with me, but when they do, I'm going to play the victim and I'm going to act like it is a very hard and difficult thing for me to have to deal with. I'm going to frame it as personal attacks. My God, you're a fucking winchbag.
I didn't appreciate the way that I was being made to look.
Didn't appreciate. I'm sure the people of colour and immigrants in this country definitely appreciated what you had to say.
By a lot of people and some of the personal attacks, but by all means, disagree with what I said. I may have missed something that I meant to say. This is already a really long video, but I'm going to go back to doing what I normally do, and encourage you to all, chat about whatever you want to chat about. You are delicious. Stay delicious. And follow me. I'm delicious. All the fucking best to you. You're absolute legends. And I don't hate anybody, except the French. That was a joke, okay? That was a joke. I simply distrust the French.
Very good. Very good, Garron. Very good. Yeah, that was a wet fart of an apology. Didn't take accountability. Everyone who supported him is a sap. Don't follow him. He's disgusting.